Washington. President Joe Biden's first-day agenda has a pretty clear subtext: "We've got this." The incoming administration released a fact sheet hours ahead of Wednesday's inauguration ceremony detailing immediate steps that it will take to tackle the still-raging coronavirus pandemic and other, converging crises, facing the country. He will sign a combination of executive orders, memoranda, directives, and letters to take initial steps to address these crises, including by changing the course of the COVID-19 pandemic, providing economic relief, tackling climate change, and advancing racial equity, according to the fact sheet. A chief criticism of President Donald Trump has been the lack of a consistent and coordinated national approach to the pandemic. Biden will sign an executive order creating the position of COVID-19 Response Coordinator, who reports directly to the president. That person will be responsible for coordinating all elements of the response, which includes managing production and distribution of personal protective equipment, vaccines and tests. Biden also will reverse the U.S. withdrawal from the World Health Organization, which his team described as an entity that is critical to coordinating the international response to COVID-19, advancing preparedness for future epidemics and pandemics, and improving the health of all people. Anthony Fauci, the director of the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases, will lead a delegation participating in this week's WHO Executive Board meeting. All of those steps come on top of a general push for Americans to follow public health recommendations on face coverings and physical distancing, with an actual mandate for masks on federal property. On the economic relief front, Biden wants to extend eviction and foreclosure moratoriums until at least March 31 and continue the existing student loan pause until September 30. Borrowers of all ages are often faced with a tough trade-off between making their student loan payments, investing in their long-term financial future, or paying their bills, according to the fact sheet. The pandemic has only increased the economic hardship of the millions of Americans who have student debt. On climate change, Biden will take steps to rejoin the Paris Climate Agreement and sign an executive order directing all departments to review and potentially roll back a host of Trump environmental actions. That includes dozens of specific agency rules identified in a separate list. He also plans to block from taking effect any midnight regulations issued at the last minute by the Trump administration. Biden's order calls for revising standards for vehicle fuel efficiency and emissions, methane emissions and the energy efficiency of buildings and appliances. He will place a temporary moratorium on oil and gas leasing in the Arctic National Wildlife Refuge and review the boundaries of national monuments such as Bears Ears and Grand Staircase Escalante.